Hello and welcome back to the Not the Old Firm YouTube channel. My name is Ben Banks, back to continue our sort of mini series here on YouTube and on our website with four former players of the League Cup semi-finalists ahead of this weekend's last four action at Hampden. We started with Derek Lilly of Livingston ahead of Livingston v St Mirren. We now turn our attentions to the blue side of St Johnstone v Hibs on Saturday afternoon with Peter MacDonald, well-loved figure at St Johnstone, over 200 appearances for the Perthshire Saints. He's featured in many semi-finals, albeit perhaps not getting the just reward in it, as he goes on to mention in this video and on our website in the written article, as well as looking ahead to how St Johnstone may fare against Hibs. St Johnstone arguably underdogs against Hibs. Hibs perhaps the favourite if you want to go in club size, but overall, considering the meetings between these two in the Premiership this season, I've had fortune of watching them a couple of times in this particular fixture, it will be very close. So one to look out for on Saturday afternoon, and Peter McDonald's looking ahead and forward to that. If you do enjoy this type of content on our channel, do remember to like this video and subscribe to our channel. As I've already mentioned, Livingston's version with Derek Lilly is already on the channel. We'll have a few more as well. I believe as this goes up, we'll have just announced that Mark McCausland will be on to preview St Mirren's side of things, as well as the Hibs section, which will be out just after this one on Friday. So do check them all out. Remember to subscribe to our channel, like the video, and until next time, let's go then. As I said, thanks for agreeing to do this. What is it you're up to now? Also had a wee brief chat about it before we hit record, but to the viewer at home, what are you up to?
I'm a football consultant for CAA Base. It was originally Base Soccer, a big agency from London, and quite a lot of offices all around the world. And we had a majority takeover recently by CAA, who are the biggest agency in the world based in America. So I think they wanted to branch into the football market or soccer market, as they say it, over here. And Base Soccer was the company we're looking for to do it. So they had a majority buyout and we united the CAA Base now.
See,
so that's what I'm doing now.
See, we obviously people know what an agent is. Is there a difference between a consultant and an agent?
Yeah, there is. I'm not registered as an agent, as an intermediary. And there's certain things you can do as an agent, as a registered one, and there's things you can do as a consultant. It's similar, but it's just basically you've no register yourself with a FA. That's what it boils down to.
So it's a nice relaxing life, basically, compared to an agent at this time of year.
No, I'm going to say that. It is due to the virus. It's fairly not dead, but you're trying to push loans. Obviously, I've come into this gig last March, or by year March, and I've only ever known Zooms and things like that. I've only been to one game, I've only been to 3 games this year, which was not the norm. If I was in this role, I'd be going to games most weeks and 3 or 4 games a week. So it's definitely had a hit on what the job I would be doing. But we just need to improvise, and we've got Y Scout there, and like yourself, me and you talking Zoom. We've got Zoom.
Yes, aye, very I've seen obviously on LinkedIn and stuff some of the stuff you're sharing. Are you able to, what sort of players are you talking about working with here? I don't know if you're able to share what players you work with.
No, I've no problem. Basically up here, I would be looking to work. We work for Base Scotland, which is a part. We've got Base London, Base North East, Base. You could probably say majority of countries in the world. Base Brazil, Base Japan. But basically, I'm concentrating on Scotland, getting the best young talent coming through in Scotland, and representing them and giving them hopefully some good advice and astute advice, whether it be in contracts and with my side, with me playing and coaching, that allows me to talk to them on that level as well, and hopefully they buy into it and see how far we can take them in their career.
Who obviously you've only been in that you speak to or have spoken to yet that sort of excited you and caught your eye?
Sorry, say that again?
Is there any, like, in the last year you've been doing this, has there been anybody that's properly excited you, think, oh, well, my advice here could see him go to the next level?
Oh, definitely. There's a few companies already got before I come on board. For example, Josh McPake at Rangers. Josh is an exciting player. In an attacking team, Josh does some things that, I could only dream as a player. He's got to work his other side of the game, which he has done at Morton for the last wee bit, but Josh excites me every day. We've got young Charlie Lindsay at Rangers. He's another fantastic prospect who I had in my 16s team when I was at Rangers. He lit up the Alcast tournament in sort of big style, winning player of the tournament, scored I think 5 goals in the tournament. So he's come over here with a bit of reputation as an exciting either wide player or attacking midfielder. But there's other ones we've got as well who are older. Andrew Considine, Joe Lewis, just a couple. I think it's Mike in the company's got Mikey Johnson as well. So we've sort of got a variety of different ages across the board, and obviously positions as well. You kind of keep hogging the strikers. So.
I was about to say, they'll get you the nice stuff later down the line when things kick off again. So I doubt Andy Considine's getting you that. That said, I mean, it's a good time to have him from a commercial point of view with the Euros coming up. He's going to have a number 1 in the charts soon.
Oh, I seen that. Aye, that's not bad for Andy, but I think he'll be concentrating his football first rather than anything else. Because let's be honest, after that clip, he wasn't the best singer, was he?
No, well, it was a good dance, a good laugh, and I think he banged about millions of impressions and retweets and stuff. So he did the trick, even without. But on your playing stuff as well, obviously, as the title of this video and article, when people read it, suggests. So obviously looking ahead to St Johnstone v Hibs, and fair to say probably you've got a more common association with St Johnstone than me, so I've brought in a wee bit of help for this one. You had a lengthy association being here, like over 10 years pretty much. What sort of kept you at St Johnstone that long?
Don't know. It was a fantastic club, a great family club. The chairman was excellent. Old Jeff, who passed the reins down to his son Steve. Steve was excellent, and just the people about the place. They were just. It became a special place, to be honest. And I think after a period of time, it was my 3rd year, 4th year, 5th year, and so on, it just became like home. So it was natural that I stayed there. And, when we won promotion back to the Premier League, it made it it just topped it off again. But it's a fantastic 10 year I had there, and I still hold St Johnstone close to my heart. Even to this day, always looking for the results every week. So it's good that they're starting to kick on a wee bit.
Your youth Rangers, wasn't it?
Yeah, I was Rangers for 5 years. Sorry.
5 years. So I can imagine going from, even back then, even though they won't be on the level they are now, going from the training facilities they had then and some of the players then to McDiarmid Park was probably a bit of a reality check at first.
Well, I was a reserve player at Rangers. I was an under-21s player. Still trying to make my way in the game when I got my St Johnstone bought me. So going from Rangers to St Johnstone was a bigger step going there, because I went into the first team environment. I was a first team player. They paid a lot of money for me. I was in a good salary. So things sort of took a step up where I had to step up and show what I was worth. So that was a big ask, because again I was only 20-year-old, hadn't played a first team game. So going there, I had to try and make my mark early doors and show that the club were right to spend all that money on me.
Was that a bit weird for you as well? You're a player making your way in the game, and then obviously you're getting brought in for a decent fee. I mean, whenever a fee's paid for in Scottish football, you'll know in the line of work you do. For teams like St Johnstone to pay fees for things, they need to be sure of it.
Yep. I think it was 125 grand, which is, I don't know, it was about 20 years ago. So that's maybe 600 grand now, I'd imagine, if you you think it, which even back then was a lot of money, 125. So I know that St Johnstone had me watched on a number of occasions, and there was talk, sort of whispers before the end of my under-21 season, after I did quite well against St Johnstone in the 2 games I played them. I had a good season, that there was talk of maybe they'd like me, but I never thought that they would have come in and paid the money they would have. 6 months, not even 6 months later, maybe 3 or 4 months later, during pre-season.
Well, it seemed to work out for them and you. You obviously got offered, you obviously get an extension after that. Did you think maybe at a point when you were starting to perhaps get closer to like your 30s and stuff like that, there was a chance you could be like there just forever until you ended your career, or did you think I will eventually leave here at one point?
See, to be honest, I think that I had quite a few injuries there. Bad injuries. I've got a bad right knee now, and it was due to just playing at St Johnstone, getting injured doing my cartilage on numerous occasions. And I was probably fortunate at one stage to be kept on for another 6 months. But I think when each time I got injured, I proved that I was a good player, and I was an asset to the club as a striker. And I fought my way back into the team and played particularly well, which earned the longer periods of contracts. But I think at one stage I was definitely a wee bit fortunate that I think even Derek McInnes showed a fair bit of faith in me, saying that I did enough in 4 months to warrant a new 6 month. I warrant a 6 month deal when my contract ran out.
Man, all the stuff with him, for this year's, the bed sheets and all that outside Pittodrie and all that. Rey Mysterio's kicking about outside from what I can see on social media as well.
I've seen it.
Just crazy.
Aberdeen forget where they were before Derek McInnes went in. And I think when you see it, it was fairly young kids, wasn't it? Young boys.
It was probably about my age, probably 18, 19, but at the same time, it's not nice. I mean, like outside your players.
But they don't remember it. They don't remember the days. The days when Aberdeen were poor, finishing second bottom. And when Del came in, I think they went to third and got to a final or whatever they did.
They won the League Cup in the first or second season.
Won the league, was it? Aye, so Aberdeen, the days Aberdeen at that time before Del came in were well gone, and he revamped the full squad, the full structure of the club with the back of Stuart Milne, and did an unbelievable job. But there's a true saying in football: if you are successful, it brings you failure in the long run, because you need to keep these standards up. But if you're no, you fail. It might only be a couple of positions in the league, a couple of bad results, but the fans go, "Oh, we were second, we were third. What's happening now? We're fifth." But where Aberdeen were in second bottom is a big massive jump from where they were,
Yeah.
But that's the young generation seen it.
Yes, people that blame for Derek McInnes, Gary Holt, Stephen Robinson, all exiting their jobs this season. But I think for a bit in terms of Aberdeen, I think their performances obviously haven't been great, but at the same time, some of the reactions have probably been slightly over-egged a wee bit. And obviously, him. I mean, obviously a very good manager. He's probably developed a fair bit since you worked under him.
Right, it was tops. It was tops when I was there as well. When Coyley left and Del took over, he took St Johnstone up another notch, big notch. It's changed the things about the place, which obviously playing the Premier League with West Brom and top end of the Championship, challenging for titles. He was used to a level of professionalism about the place, and he brought that into McDiarmid Park. We get better training facilities. We got video analysis, before games, after games, strength and conditioning, proper, healthy, better lunches as well. So he brought all that in, which were only there through the years before, and Del had a big part to play in changing all that.
And just ahead of the week, it's a weird one for St Johnstone, I think, for all teams involved, because I can imagine if you get to this stage in the League Cup, Celtic, Rangers, Aberdeen, even if you want to throw Hearts in there, they're all not there, and then you don't go on to win it. It's probably even though you're glad to be there, you're going to be absolutely gutted if you get beat at this stage.
As will many other teams, a cup run it's 90 minutes, as you know, and it's how you perform in a day. And over the years, St Johnstone have did fairly well at getting to semi-finals, especially in my time there. Although I failed in 5, I lost 5 in my tenure there, which I say fairly successful. Then they go on to win the Scottish Cup. So I'd like to think they'll be looking to put their best foot forward with Hibs, because Hibs are a decent side. Jack Ross has set up a decent team there. I like to think a very, very good strike force in the Scottish Premier League even at the moment, with Kevin Nesbitt and playing off a big boy Doige when he's in, and Martin Boyle off the right, who I know well. It'll be tough for St Johnstone, but on the other hand, it'll also be tough for Hibs, because I think Callum Davison will have a game plan where how to try and nullify the threats that Boyle poses with his pace, and also Kevin Nesbitt dropping into wee pockets, and hopefully maybe hit him on the counter with the pace that they've got, and the threat of Stevie May and Kane on that in behind.
That's probably been quite good for them, because St Johnstone, I think it was their first league win since November at the weekend, and Chris Kane's always been one that's threatened to kick on there. But in the last few weeks, he's turned into a completely different player.
Kane was always a good young player, full of energy, hard work ethic, and he's added bits to his game. And there's nothing better than adding goals to your game, But first and foremost, he works hard. He's been there for a long time, and he's earning his right to be in about it now.
It's a weird one. Obviously, it'd be great for any of these teams to win it, but when you look at that St Johnstone team and the amount of them that have either been there for an absolute age or are still there from the 2014 Scottish Cup win, it's really bizarre. You could probably put 6 or 7 of them that have been there for 10 plus years.
I know, it's a team full of Peter Pans, I think. But no, you need experience if you want to go and challenge in leagues and cups. The experienced players sort of build a good spine of the team, or be in the wider areas, whatever. But experience gets you the younger ones through it. If it's even just a shout for a positional change, or telling some player to narrow in and be tight, that helps the younger kid going on. Then that young kid will have his time. He becomes older to pass the same sort of information on which he's learned for the older pro to the next generation. So it's good to always have a few older pros in your ear. Although growing up, the older pros can be a lot moanier and harsh on you than what the younger ones will be.
I can imagine. You were saying you've been involved in a couple of games with St Johnstone at this sort of level. Does building up to a game like this at a sort of provincial club, if you want to call it that, make it a bit more special? Because obviously these occasions don't come around very often for clubs like St Johnstone.
Of course it does. It would be more so for the fans as well, and it's just unfortunate they can't be there to watch. But it's probably, I would probably say it's nerve-wracking, because it's a change. Some kids will know when they've played in the semi-finals. But again, you've said you've got a few who've played in the final and have been there and done it. So it's up to them to manage the younger kids, and maybe their nerves, or how they're going to react to a certain, maybe going behind in the game. But overall, I think the majority of them will be nerves shown. But after that whistle goes in the air on the pitch, the nerves go. It's game on, and you just need to play the best of your ability.
Yeah, and you'd like to think, even though it's still going to be on the telly, you're still going to have all the people who would have been at Hampden watching through screens and stuff like that. The fact you haven't got, probably be about 40,000 or something at Hampden on top of you, it surely makes some sort of difference.
Well, it should. It's an even keel, because Hibs would bring a lot more fans than St Johnstone. I think the most we had there was 6,000, and that's for the semi-final. Albeit different if it was a final. I think St Johnstone would take half, if not just under half. But it's a semi-final, and there's no fans there, like you're saying. Hibs would definitely have the majority of them, which is it's an extra man. If you've got a big home, it's like a home advantage. So it's even Stevens on that front, and it'd be interesting to see how both teams react with it.
I suppose the one advantage could have, I mean, it wasn't a positive experience, but they have experienced Hampden already this season in the Scottish Cup semi-final, and Hibs are, if you just look at club size, are going to be the team expected to go on and win this. So I don't know if it's quite a shock if St Johnstone win it, but Hibs will likely be favoured going into it.
Yeah, Hibs will be favourite, definitely. But that will suit St Johnstone being underdogs. They've been underdogs for years, and to cause an upset, there's no pressure on them. But Hibs will feel that the pressure will be all on them through the media and their own fans. And St Johnstone will just go about their business, I'm pretty sure. Like I said before, Callum, his game plan, he'll have something in his mind what he's going to do, and he'll just be praying that the boys can make it work, and then get into a final back at Hampden, and I think maybe 7 weeks later, is it?
Yeah, 7 weeks later. I suppose that is the real shame. It's been the main talking point this year, and to be honest, I'm a bit sick of talking about it. It comes up every week, but you can't get away from the fact that it will be just, especially for these teams like, I don't know, just St Johnstone, St Mirren or Livingston. I mean, the next time you get a final like that, it's once in a blue moon stuff now, and it just happens in the one season when nobody can go to it, which is just a real shame.
I know, but that's the power of the old firm hold over you, and the performances they've been putting in. So
Yeah.
it's always good to see the smaller teams get a wee crack at an upset.
Finally, just in closing, any key players you think could swing it for St Johnstone on Saturday?
I think where Callum, I think it goes with a 3 or a 5 at the back. The back 3, if he goes there, will have a massive part to play. I'm not sure if he'll go with a 3 or 5 now that Danny McNamara's away. But if Liam Craig plays, I think he could be instrumental. And again, we speak about older head, and using his game knowledge of what to do. Stevie May is always a big game player. If he starts, and you've got Kano, who run his like Stevie May to his heart's content. He'll give his all. It'll be a lot of big performances needed to beat Hibs. And then you've got Xander Clark, who for me is a top drawer goalkeeper. It's just unfortunate that he's not been in the Scotland squads because of the goalies in front of him, just ahead of him. But I think Xander keeps going, and he'll be an older Scotland goalkeeper, or he'll get a Scotland cap as an older player. So it's a big ask for St Johnstone, but I think St Johnstone can do it.